Love him or hate him, he's back. Trump is the United States president. And in this video, we're going to be talking about some of his announced policies and how these could possibly impact Australians and the Australian economy. And we're going to focus on these four key segments: crypto, tariffs, share markets, and the cost of living pressures. The price of Bitcoin soared after Trump won the election, and unlike other nations, Trump has really thrown his support behind cryptocurrency. He's promised to launch a strategic reserve, a strategic stockpile of crypto, which is held by the US government.
The United States of America to keep 100% of all the Bitcoin the US government currently holds or acquires into the future.
And by doing this, the government is really throwing their support behind cryptocurrency. It's really saying that it sees value in this asset class. Trump has also announced he wants to start a Bitcoin Presidential Advisory Council. Crypto is still a fairly unregulated, volatile asset class. Across the different countries, there's, arguments or discussion if it should be treated more like a commodity that's traded or a security, and if you need a financial services license to sell it. So hopefully with a Trump support on cryptocurrency, this should provide a bit more guidance and a little bit more regulation, which will then provide a bit more certainty for investors. And this will then hopefully eventually make its way down to Australia. Several Australian economists have said that a Trump victory is undoubtedly bullish for crypto. He was even so bold enough to launch his own crypto coin, the Trump coin, prior to his inauguration.
Welcome back to The Void. This is not how I wanted to start my 2025. Let me tell you that right now. Here's the tweet. My new Donald Trump official meme is here. It's time to celebrate everything we stand for. Winning. Join my very special Trump community. Get your Trump now.
And at the time of making this video, the value of all the Trump meme coins was around $5 billion US dollars, which is 8 billion Australian dollars. This means that they're as valuable as companies like AGL, Harvey Norman, and Ampol. Now, I do find it quite laughable that Trump would try to cash in on his inauguration by launching a meme coin, but he did it. And that's just further shows and demonstrates his support behind cryptocurrency. Now, the regulation and the uncertainty around crypto will take some time to settle and work through, and will take some further time to make its way to Australia. So don't go out there and make any brash decisions. But overall, this should have a positive impact on the crypto community. Trump has promised tariffs of at least 10% on all imported goods. Now, quickly, how tariffs work. Tariffs are a tax charged on imported goods, and they are charged on the person who is actually importing the goods into the country.
He's an importer.
Just imports? No exports?
He's an importer-exporter, okay?
These importers will never wear the cost themselves. They're always passed on the cost to the end consumer. This can make products more expensive, and it's designed to really protect local industries. So in this case, protect industries within the United States. The United States is one of Australia's biggest export markets. In the first Trump presidency, Australian steel and aluminium was exempt from US tariffs, so it's unclear if these items will be exempt again. If they are not exempted, then those Australian industries could be impacted. Other industries that could also be impacted are the farmers, meat and beef products, as well as the miners, iron ore and rare minerals. And the reason these industries will be impacted is because their products become more expensive after a tariff has been applied. Then US customers may actually order less of these products, which could hurt the Australian economy. Now, at the time of making this video, the Australian dollar is very weak compared to the United States dollar. So any tariff could possibly be partially offset by a weak Australian dollar. A weak Australian dollar means that US customers can actually buy more for cheaper. So this could partially offset for a period of time. However, the Australian dollar is always moving, so this could be short-lived. So the worst case scenario under the US applying tariffs directly to Australia could hurt the Australian economy. It could reduce our exports, could result in a little bit of inflation, and possibly some job losses in these industries. There's also some indirect impact from tariffs that could hurt Australia. The United States and Australia have one trading partner in common. That's a big trading partner, and that's China. China sells a lot of goods to America, and we sell a lot of goods to China. And Trump has threatened massive tariffs on China, up to 60%. Now, if these tariffs make the Chinese economy weaker, with the same philosophy, their products become more expensive, so the United States buys less of their products. If the Chinese economy becomes weaker, then they may buy less of our goods, less of our iron ore, less of our steel, and that again could have a negative impact on Australia. The world is so interconnected now, it's like a massive spider's web. So these tariffs applied directly and indirectly could overall have a negative impact on the Australian economy. To counteract this, Australia maybe needs to look to diversify, find other trading partners to sell its goods and services to. And this leads us now into cost of living pressures. The last time Trump imposed tariffs on China in 2018, this drove shipping costs way up. And this was because people were worried that now that the goods were more expensive, that ships would be absolutely packed to the brim because they didn't want any wastage. And what actually happened then is that shipping and transport costs increased dramatically. Shipping costs are a big part of the Australian economy, both goods going out and goods coming in. We don't manufacture that much here in Australia ourselves. So an increase in shipping costs could mean a slight increase in prices of all goods across the board. This could have flow-on effects that are inflationary, which then may not help the Reserve Bank decisions around interest rates. What is clear is that Trump is pro-business, and his last presidency was really positive for the share market. He's all about tax cuts.
Are going to pass the largest tax cut in American history.
He's all about deregulation.
I imposed a federal hiring freeze, a federal regulation freeze.
And that can put more money in people's pockets. When people have more money in their pockets, they can then go out and spend that money on goods and services in businesses, or they can use that money to buy stocks in the stock market. And then businesses perform well because they have more people with more money buying their goods and services. So this will pose well for people that are buying US assets. It may not necessarily have the same rollover effect to people that want to buy Australian assets or Australian shares. And the protectionist impact of Trump's tariffs could further help US businesses or US assets, US stocks. Imposing tariffs on Australia and China is actually going to hurt or could hurt the Australian economy and Australian stock market. Now, I'm not a licensed financial advisor, and nothing in this video should be taken to be financial advice. You should make your own decisions when it comes to your investments. But I have made a video teaching you how to invest, which I'll leave in the description down below. And in this video, I talk about different brokerage apps and that from Australia, you can actually buy US-based shares. So if you're looking for some US exposure, there are options that allow you to do that here from Australia. We do know that Trump is pro-oil.
Drill, baby, drill.
So this could have a positive impact on Australian energy and oil companies, provided that the tariff impact is not too severe. So can Australia fight back on any of these initiatives? Not really. Our economy is far too small compared to the US economy. Take a look at this comparison. So then any retaliation wouldn't really do any damage, wouldn't really impact the US economy, and it could just make things worse. We can only hope that the US doesn't target Australia too directly because after all, we are allies. If everything I've discussed with regards to tariffs does come true, it might not be the worst thing for Australia because it will force us to diversify with our trading partners. And remember, Trump is a businessman. If there's something in it for him, then there can be something in it for us. Hope you really enjoyed that and were able to learn something new from the video. If you're new here, welcome to the community. And why not head over to my YouTube channel where I've done a whole host of videos on other financial topics. Till next time, see you in the next video.